Hello, art students. I'm Ms. Morris, and today we will create a warm and cool watercolor painting titled Warm Sun, Cool Moon. Materials needed for this lesson are one sheet of watercolor paper or mixed media paper. I like to use watercolor or mixed media paper when painting with watercolors, especially when I'm going to be using a lot of watercolor paint, because it absorbs very well and it holds the paper nice and firm, and it doesn't destroy the paper. So it's best to use the watercolor for any watercolor painting projects, the watercolor paper. You will also need a small round plate, and you will use this plate to trace your circle in the center, so you will need that. You will need a watercolor palette. You will also need a ruler, a pencil, a black marker, a cup of water, and a small round brush like so. Now, a lot of palettes come with them already, but if you have a better one, which is a small round brush like so, that's what you'll need. Something with a small brush at the end, nothing too big. You want to be able to make those paint those details in very nicely. You will also need cool colors and color pencils, an array of cool colors, and we'll go over that in a second. What are cool colors? And you will also need warm colors pencils. Okay, so if you have any warm color pencils, you want to gather all of those. You will also need one white color pencil. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our plate and place it in the center of our watercolor paper. And make sure you center it as best as you can, making sure it's even on all sides. And you're going to draw and trace a circle around using your plate. Just like that. Okay, so you're done. You no longer need your plate anymore. Now, the circle will hold the moon and the sun. They share this circle, just like you see here in the composition. And we are now going to divide and draw the moon and the sun, okay? So starting here at the top, you're going to curve a line in, right at the top, in the middle, curve a line in, just like that, towards the center of the circle, then a line you're going to curve back inwards towards the left of your moon, and then you're going to finish it off like so. That big, so I'm going to make it a little thick at the bottom. And then curve that line just like that to finish the moon. Okay. So now we have divided our moon from our sun. Now, let's start with the details. Here, you're going to draw the moon eye, and his eyes are closed, like he's sleeping. Now, the sun and moon, they share the same face. So everything should align. The moon's eye will align with the sun's eye. So moving over, we're going to draw an almond shape for the sun's eye, just like that. And then we're going to draw one lid like so. And then a pupil in the center for the sun's eye. Okay. We also want to give the moon and sun eyelashes, so curling the moon's eyes, his lashes will curl this way. And the sun's lashes will curl in the opposite way. Okay? All right. Now, let's continue. All right. Now the mouth will also align, so they will share a mouth. So slightly underneath the moon's nose, you're just going to create a smiley face like so. Just like that. And starting where the moon is here in the center, you're going to create one lip and curve up and then curve down into the mouth, into the crease of the mouth on the side. And you're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. And it's okay if the sun's lips are a little longer, the sun is bigger, so that makes perfect sense, okay? All right, so now let's get into more details. In the cheeks on the sun, I just want to create these this curly, swirly line like so. Okay. Now we'll start with the sun's rays. The first thing I want to do is start where the moon and sun begin at the top. I'm going to make a small triangular shape like so, and then I'm going to alternate with a bigger one. And I'm going to keep doing this, going all the way around. Just like that. And you're going to stop where the sun and the moon ends and meets here, okay? On the moon side, we're going to create a beautiful swirly cloud. And it's really, really simple. You can start right here at the top of the moon, and we're going to just draw one, come out, draw one swirl, and then close it. Do it again here. Curved line to close it. Do another one here. And another one like this. Keep going. You can close it like that. It's looking good. And maybe one more like that. Perfect. Very easy. Now on the sides, if you like, you can draw stars. And the stars are very easy. If you know how to draw a star, it starts off with like a triangle on the top. Give it some arms, slant down, and give it two legs. Now, no, I know my star is not perfect, nor does it have to be, okay? But this is just giving you an idea of how to draw your stars. If you have a stencil at home of some stars, you can just use it, or a template, that's fine. I'm only going to do a few. Because I think that's enough. And there you have it, okay? So now I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to start to draw the sun's rays and divide the sun from the moon. So taking my ruler right where the sun and moon begin here, I'm going to slant that way. And on the bottom here, I'm going to slant that way. See? Now taking my ruler, I'm going to create these lines, and you at home, you can make them as wide or thin as you like. That is totally up to you. Just like that. Good job. Now, on the moon side, it will be opposite. They won't be straight lines because the sun's rays shine so brightly and direct that the moon, opposite of the sun, will have cooler lines. So we're going to make them just like we did here, but we're going to give them a slight wave. So you're just going to give them a little wave like this. So we're going to draw some nice wavy lines to represent cooler air. Just like that. Okay, so now we're done drawing. We're going to start painting. So now using your color palette and your brush with your cup of water, we're going to draw the color with watercolor. We're going to paint the sun all using warm colors. And those warm colors, as you should all know, are reds, pinks, orange, yellow, and even some browns, okay? So let's go over that again. Warm colors are red, orange, pink, yellow, and some browns, okay? So we're gonna start with just our warm colors now, and then we'll begin coloring with our cool colors, and we'll get to that in a second. So this way you can see, good. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with yellow, because I always like to start light to dark, and I'm gonna saturate this little watercolor of yellow and get my brush nice and saturated with its color. Like I just keep swirling and swishing and swishing it and swishing it around so I pick up as much paint as I possibly can. Okay. Coloring in the inside, and I want to start from the inside, but you guys can do whatever you like at home. I want to paint the inside of the sun all yellow. Going around the lips. Here we go. And you know what? I want to add a little more detail to the sun's eyes because it looks just so pretty. Before I go too far with the watercolor. I just want to add in some details like this. Nice. And you can do the same at home. Okay, I really love it. Awesome. Okay, so now I'm just going around and around and around with the watercolor in yellow. And then I'm going to go into a light orange, if you have that color. And I'm going to color the other side of it and blend those lines in, adding some water. I want to blend in my yellow with my orange, because the sun isn't just one color. I mean, sometimes it's so bright, it's hard to just stare into it. But the sun is comprised of a lot of color. And it's not just yellow, it's not just oranges, it's reds. And as you can see, I'm just going over, you can follow what I'm doing with my painted palette, so you can see what it is that I'm doing. And I'm just going over all of this. I'm mixing my orange and my yellow. I want them to just kind of just bleed together so I get the desired look that I'm looking for. I might go into a deeper orange here. Just kind of encase it on the sides. Making sure I'm doing some really nice blending. Giving it some dark depth here, like that. Nice and vivid, rich. More color. Just like that. And the colors blend so nicely. Okay. Taking a little red. And sometimes you have to dab off your water, your brush, if it has too much water, because you don't want to saturate, especially small spaces when you are painting. You want to make sure you're leaving those and making them easier for you to paint by not having so much water, less water on it, and concentrating that color so it's a little more vivid and not so watered down. So I colored my lips red. Go into orange again. Just go over this swirly that I created. And it's okay if it bleeds, that's what I want. just like that. Taking just a tiny bit of water and going into pink. The less water, the more concentrated my color will be. I'm gonna color in these little darts that I put at the ends, the bottoms of my son's eye. Taking some brown. And coloring in the pupil. And I'll just leave a little bit of white like so. Oops, I think I'm making my eye too wide. Okay, just like that. Now, what you're going to do with the sun's triangular shape rays here is you're going to alternate color. So you can choose maybe like red, and I'm just going to paint in here, red. And then I'm going to let you take it from here. We can pause the tape and then let you finish, and then we can resume with the cool side when we're done. And a dark orange. Let's try maybe this orange. Yeah, something like a medium orange. Very nice. Okay, so what you're going to do now is you're going to alternate your red and your orange or any colors you select on the sides. And then you're going to do the same thing for your rays, okay? So you can alternate with only warm colors because our sun is not green and our sun is not purple and it's certainly not blue. So you're going to use your warm colors, your yellows, your oranges, your reds, your pinks, and some of your browns. And you're going to just alternate and paint all of these using an ABC or AB pattern, however you like. That's all up to you. Okay, and then we will resume. So at this point, I'm going to pause the tape. I'm going to let you resume your painting, and then we'll come back and we'll do the cool side. Okay, students, so now that we have all our warm colors laid into our sun, we alternated our warm colors throughout the sun's rays. We're going to now start with the moon side. So what we're going to do is, we're going to take the lightest blue in our palette. I'm going to switch that around, get my brush nice and saturated. And I'm going to just kind of like go over all over my clouds here. So I'm just going to swoop. I'm going to swoosh. Oh, I hope that doesn't mess up my recording. I'm going to swish. And just trace over my lines. That's all you're going to do. There we go, just like that. Okay. And so now, once we've done that, we're going to paint in our moon. Now I'm going to pick up the same color, it's just the lightest blue, and I'm going to work the inside of the moon. Keep going. I'm going to go into maybe like a darker blue. On the outer side part of the moon, I'm just going to wash over it in some lighter, sorry, some darker blue. The same way we did with the sun. And blending it in. Notice I'm not making kind of like vertical strokes. I'm kind of like, it looks like I'm almost scratching in the color, going around, giving it a little bit of texture as I do that. It shows up on the paper that way. There we go. And nice and dark. I'm going to take some of that dark blue and I'm going to kind of like go underneath the nose to redefine it a little. And I'm going to create a nostril here using my darker paint. Just like that. Now I'm going to blend this line a little bit because I don't want it that dark. Just blending. Closing this up now. Now going into purple, light purple. I'm going to color in the mouth, the moon side, purple. And I'm going to take purple also and paint in the lid of the moon almost in like the same shape you did with the sun's eye, but just like that. Very nice. Okay. Okay, so now at this point, just like you did with the sun's rays, you're going to alternate your moon's rays on the opposite side, doing the same thing, using only cool colors, and those cool colors are all your blues, purples, and greens. But I'm going to refrain from using too much green in this composition because I want to stay within the blues and purples family. But if you would like to add a green, that's really up to you. So at this point, I'm going to pause the tape and allow you to color and paint in all your rays. Make sure you're alternating them in a different pattern, AB pattern, ABC, ABCD pattern. That's all up to you. Make sure to avoid coloring, painting your stars. So please paint around those, and we will color those in with color pencils. And that's the next part of our lesson. So I'm going to pause now, let you finish, and we'll be back. Okay, class, we're back. So now that we have everything painted in with our watercolor, we are now going to start coloring in our details, just like you see here in the original that I've done. You see these beautiful patterns of different colors overlapping the watercolor images that I painted in. You see within the sun, I did these swirly loop-de-loops in different colors. I alternated between red and orange and yellows, if you can see that in here. In the moon side, I just created complete circles using white and alternating with a lighter blue, picking up those details. And you can carry on and within the rays, the sun rays, and create any line patterns that you like, doing the same thing here on the moon side. Okay, so we're going to get started with coloring that. And I'm going to just demonstrate a few. And after that, I'm going to leave it all up to you and we'll resume. So, getting started using warm colors. I'm going to pull out my warm colors. And here's my warm colors. I have yellows, I have orange, I have a brown, I have pinks and reds, okay? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with an orange. I'm going to try use my brightest orange that I have. And I'm going to draw in these swirly loop-de-loops all within my sun. I'm going to alternate with some reds around the perimeter. Making some small, some large. Even some lighter orange. As I work towards the center of the sun until I get to yellow. And you may not see yellow show up on this camera, but I can assure you that the yellow swirlies are in there. And you can even bring them right into that orange a little bit. And there you go. Taking my brown, I want to realign this eye, making it nice and even. And go over my lashes, thicken them up. And I'm going to go over pink here. Adding a little bit more details, just like that. Very nice. And here I'm going to take red and just go over red. I'm going to outline my sun ray here. Let me resharpen my pencil. Okay. I'm just going, oh, my pencil keeps breaking. I think I'm going to just time out with that one and maybe just go over with a different color. That's just as good. And I'm making some lines within the rays. As you can see, I'm alternating. And I'll just go back over this one. And I'm going to do the same thing here using my darkest orange. Just like that. Now, if you can't see it, I'll go over it with maybe a lighter color. Anything to bring those designs to life. You're going to do the same thing within your rays. So let me give you an example. Over here where it's more like a brownish color, I'm just going to draw some straight lines. Nothing too hard. And maybe curve them vertically. So now that I have one design in. Another way I can do this is taking a darker orange and going into yellow and maybe doing circles. And this can be my line. Okay, you can keep going with that as well. Awesome. You can also do wavy lines. So I'm going to take pink and I'll go over maybe this color here. So I'm going to just draw these sneaky lines and then I'm going to alternate. Just like that. Simple. Okay? any way you like. You can draw your lines any way you like. You're going to go all the way around in the warm colors, using only warm colors, and you're going to do the same thing here for the cool colors. So just to give you, I gave you an example of on the warm side. I'm going to give you an example on the cool side now. Taking my darkest purple, I'm going to go into the purple here. And I'm just going to do a wavy line, something simple. And maybe make a few alternating dots within my lines. So that's one way. Very simple. Whatever comes to mind, that's what you'll do. Okay? And make it look really nice and put a lot of details in it. The more details you put in it, the prettier it actually really looks. Okay? So now that I have that, I can go into the dark and using white, because white will pop up really nicely. Actually, let me use this side just to give you an example. I can do dotted lines. Following that same wave pattern with the lines. And there you have it. Very simple. So at this time, I'm going to pause the tape and you guys can finish and we'll resume. Okay? Okay, art students, now that we have all of our designs laid in, you can trace over some of your outer lines. And what I mean is you're going to just go over the outer shape of the sun in black marker. Now, I don't know if I forgot to mention it, but when you are, before you try to color in your designs with your color pencil, you need to make sure that your color paper is very dry or it just won't show up. So you want to make sure you do that. Oh, and my marker's starting to dry on me. And I'm just going over my rays with a marker. I'm going to go over just the outer part of my clouds as well. And finish that up. Just like that. It's looking really good. Keep going. And we should be done. I think it came out wonderful. Well, there you have it. This is your warm sun, cool moon, watercolor painting and drawing. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it took some time, but art is fun and it also takes some time to bring beautiful things into the world. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Please post and send me your finished work. I would love to see it. Again, enjoy and have a great day. Bye.